Blog Talk Radio.
This is the Chauncey Show, where we're always right and never left. We put God first and politics second. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Chauncey Brown. We have an exciting show lined up for you today. We have my dear friend who was a veteran, business owner, and he's a frontline patriot working on the ground every day to deliver people the news and information that they need to hear about his candidacy. Mike Blasi is a candidate for Congress in New Jersey's District 4. As a decorated U.S. Army veteran, retired law enforcement officer, Mike has already selflessly pledged 2 times to defend the Constitution of the United States, and he's ready to do it again. He's a proud American and New Jerseyan who spends his time as an owner of a small real estate company. Mike has helped homeowners move into the Congressional District 4, where he proudly lives with his family and hopes to serve as your next congressman. Although Mike does not consider himself a career politician like our current congressman, he does not think it is time for a change in our district representation. And he undoubtedly believes he can be our voice, the voice that has been missing for quite some time. Over the past year, there have been an insurmountable amount of challenges to the freedoms and Constitution rights Mike has fought hard for, both at war and at home. Mike has proven time and time again to be a fighter, and he's ready to bring the fight to the U.S. Congress on behalf of the Constitution, the constituents in the District 4. Mike, welcome to the show. It's an honor and a blessing to have you on. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come on. How are you today?
I'm great. It's always a pleasure and honor to be on a show with such a great patriot. You are not just my favorite talk show person, blogger, but you're my friend. And I thank you for all that you do for the people of New Jersey and the country.
Mike, thank you very much. As I did a brief introduction about you, I know there's a lot of issues that you want to cover tonight. So I'll let you lead the conversation, and then I'll chip in as we go along.
Oh, where do we start? It's like I keep saying this again and again and again. As I watch the news on a daily basis, it's scary, Chauncey. I don't think Stephen King can write a scarier novel. Every day I see what's happening. I mean, the newest insult is Joe Biden, the sock puppet, is now giving $30 million for crack pipes. I mean, can you help me understand this, Chauncey? What is going on in this country? And why aren't our congressmen stepping up? Yes, sir.
You know, on my blog the other day, I posted about $30 million. It's ironically, it's Black History Month, and him targeting blacks. I pointed out in my blog that it's clearly racist. A drug addict is not too immune to race or color. If you're going to put $30 million to help all drug addicts, that's what it should be, not for a particular race. His identity politics, his racism is clear every time he opens his mouth. And it's sad. It really is. You know,
what's really
just
sad,
like
Chauncey,
Mike, I'm sorry.
Ahead,
there's
sir.
a delay when we speak. Also, one more thing I wanted to add is him nominating and openly stating, I want to hire a black woman nominated for the Supreme Court. That clearly violates the 1964 Civil Rights Act. He's discriminating against all men, and he's discriminating against all non-colored women. You can't do that. That is a clear violation of the act. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I'm agreeing with you 1,000%. You know, I mean, how about taking $30 million and open up programs to help people with addiction? How about opening up hospitals, more programs, give it to homeless people, give them shelters? What are you really doing giving $30 million for crack pipes? And the biggest sin, Chauncey, is that nobody's speaking up about this. Nobody in Congress, nobody in the Senate is coming out and saying, hey, this is wrong. How do we allow people to do this? And this is why we need voices of people that love our country, that are patriots, that believe that we should always do the right thing. And this Democratic agenda has got to be stopped, Chauncey. It has to be stopped.
Amen. I want to apologize to my followers. I guess that my internet connection is somewhat spotty. You're coming in, but I want to apologize to my audience if the connection is a little spotty this evening. Mike, another issue that my last couple of podcasts that the candidates have brought up, and I know it's an issue in New Jersey because I've run for office, is the lack of GOP support financially,
oh my God,
on the ground, and also, you know, one is in Pennsylvania, one is in Texas. With all due respect, the black woman from Texas is a veteran. Her husband is a retired major. Her grandparents were military, and they have other conservatives in Texas, because she's of color, calling her a Democrat. I mean, this is beyond the pale what the GOP is doing to undermine, like, great candidates. I don't know if you've experienced the same thing. I believe that you're already in a Republican district, correct?
Yes. Well, so I'm in CD4, which is actually, according to Cook's numbers, and those that don't know what the Cook's numbers are, it's how likely people are to vote Republican or Democrat. So we are plus 28. So we are definitely the number one most Republican district in the state, and we're probably the top 10 in the country. That being said, I would assume that the Republicans want to keep the party strong, put the right candidates in there, but unfortunately, and this is not every Republican, there are some issues with some people in the Republican Party that want to keep things status quo. They want things not to change. But we need change, Chauncey. We need the right change, not the silly Democratic change they're trying to do with their socialist agenda. We need change for the better. We need the people to come out there and represent the people. This is not about politics. This is about the people, and that's why I am fighting. And I'm going to tell you right now, the GOP could do whatever they want, but I'm a firm believer in the GNP. That's the Grand New Party, because the oil has to be changed, the sludge has to be taken out, and this machine needs new oil, and this oil is fueled by the blood and the spirit of patriots.
Amen. For those that are tuning in, you're listening to the Chauncey Show, where we're always right and never left. We put God first and politics second. We're going to take a brief 2-minute commercial break so I can try to address the internet, and we'll be back in about a minute or two. So please stand by. Thank you all. I apologize. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. I think we have a better connection now. I apologize for the brief interruption. Mike, how do I sound?
Loud and clear, brother.
Yes, I definitely had to make that change, so we're good now. You sound loud and clear, so I want to apologize to my audience and followers for that brief. But we have another 45 minutes for a show. Mike, how has the GOP and the party been treating you?
Not very fairly. There are certain protocols that have to be adhered to, and they're just not following the protocol. They're making it very clear that they're afraid of me because I am not a puppet. I'm not going to play the game, and I'm not going to be bought or sold. So they have attacked my campaign, my staff, and a few other people, and I think it's just wrong. Again, it's not all of them. There's just a couple of people that are just pro-establishment, that are just pro-incumbent, and I'm not even going to mention his name, but they're just just stuck the way things are, and they don't want change. And obviously, if you don't have change, your job as a GOP committeeman or a GOP chairman is to go out and vet candidates in the district. Hear what they have to say. Maybe there's somebody better than me. Maybe there's somebody better than the incumbent. Do your due diligence, do your job, listen to these people, and then allow them to screen, go to convention, and then let the people decide whether or not they want to be on the line. So if the GOP in your local county says this is who you're voting for, then you've got chicken or fish. That's it. Democrat or Republican. What if you want steak? So I think that the people have to go out there and realize when they vote, and I hope they vote because June 7th is the primary, I hope they look at the whole line and look at everybody that's out there and Google every candidate and see who's the best candidate for you, your family, the state, and for the country, and make a wise decision. Too many people are just so used to looking at that line, hitting the first line, which is the Republican line, and check straight down, because that's what they're trained to do, and that's what the GOP wants you to do. So you have to use your own mind, have your own free will, and actually do your research and pick the best candidate possible. We are not in the type of environment where we could just trust the GOP. We need to get loud, we need to get proud, and we need to know that the person who's representing us is the right person for the job.
Amen. Mike, every American First Patriot candidate that I've interviewed, like yourself, you stand up for what you believe in, for the rights of the people. And I've noticed that all of our candidates are not lockstep with the Republican Party, and that is a threat to their establishment. That is a threat to their elitism. That is a threat to their business as usual, that they co-opt with other Democrats to maintain power and share power. Right. This is not only hurting the people, it's hurting the party. And it takes a lot of courage for you, for Raven Harris, for John, for Collins out of California, for all James Bradley out of California, for all you guys to stand up and go against the grain. It's like you being in battle, in war again, in the Army.
Yeah, it is.
We're at war right now. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, but when you're in battle, at least you know who the enemy is, and that's a little bit of a problem. But I want to say this to everybody that's listening right now. If you're unhappy with the way things are, if you're mad as hell like everybody else is, you have the power to make the change.